Right. In our last lesson, we talked about Pythagoras' theorem. And we said in our last class that Pythagoras' theorem says the sum of the squares of the two sides of the triangle is equal to the square of the hypotenuse, which is the longest side of a triangle, the side opposite the 90 degrees. And we use that and we formulate some equations to help us find the length of those sides. And we said if we want to find the length of the hypotenuse, it's the square root of a squared plus b squared. If we want to find the length of either of the other sides, if we want to find the length of a, it's equal to the square root of c squared minus b squared. If we want to find the length of b, it's the square root of c squared minus a squared. So we can apply these two to find the length of these two missing sides. So let's go ahead and do so. So using our formula to find b, it's the square root of c squared minus a squared. So let's go back here. Let's start with this formula. So if we said that it will be 14 squared plus b squared will be equal to 20 squared. We start with that. And let's see how we will get here. Now we take over our 14. So 14 is adding over here. When it goes over, it will subtract. So b squared is equal to 20 squared minus 14 squared, just as we have our formula here. Alright? So now to find for b will be equal to the square root of 20 minus 14 squared. So let's work that out. 20 squared will give us what? Find what is 20 squared, find what is 14 squared, find the difference, and then find the square root. So pause the video, do that, and then we'll check to see if you have the same answer. So go ahead and do that. Now that you've completed that, let's see if you have the similar answer. Now, 20 squared is 400. 14 squared will give us 196. 196. Let's subtract that to see what we will get. Gives us 204. And the square root of 204 is 14.28 to write it to 2 decimal places. Alright? So I hope you have that same answer. Now let's look at the other one. Again, let us start by writing for the Pythagoras' theorem that a squared plus 4.3 squared will give us 12.5 squared. What you can do, you can pause the video right here and work it out, transpose it, find what a is equal to, work it out, and then we'll see if we have the same answer, the similar answer. Now you would have done that, let us check. So a squared is equal to 12.5 squared minus 4.3 squared. So 12.5 squared will give us what? 12.5 squared, 156.25. Boys and girls, do not rush to round to 1 decimal place quickly. This is okay to have it to 2 decimal places, right? And then we have 4.3 square, which will give us 18.49. We subtract. So 156.25 minus 18.49 gives us 137.76, and then we find the square root of that answer. A will be equal to the square root of 137.76. All right, 7.76, which will give us 11.7. We'll write it to 2 decimal places, 11.74 cm, and that is our answer. In our next class, we will do some application questions using Pythagoras' theorem.